I took a $93 flight from the United States to Eastern Europe, and the rest was covered by Chase credit card points. By transferring 66,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, my wife and I were able to travel from a small airport in Missouri to Chicago to Frankfurt, Germany, and then to Bucharest, Romania, all through Air Canada's website. This was a flight we were going to take anyway, so it was either pay the cash price of $1,762 or pay with points and only $93 in taxes and fees per person. This first part of the video will be talking about why I chose Air Canada to make my booking, and then we will move towards the actual redemption process, so I'll show you how I made the booking on Air Canada's website. Why did I make this booking through the Air Canada website? Well, first off, I went to Google Flights and I typed in my departure airport and my arrival airport just to see what would come up, and I noticed that there were a lot of United flights and Delta flights on the first leg of the trip. And so this meant that I was either going to be taking Star Alliance flights with United being the first leg or SkyTeam flights with Delta being the first leg. Without getting too much into the specifics, I'll save that for another video. I was leaning more towards United because of that Star Alliance partnership that they have, and Star Alliance is the biggest airline alliance in the world with the most amount of airlines, and that means we'll have a better chance of finding a flight path that I will like. And we also knew that Air Canada was a part of Star Alliance, and so I always knew that that booking was an option with points through Air Canada's website. I did my research on all of the airlines that are transfer partners with Chase and American Express because that's the point currencies that I had at the time of this booking, and I just found that Air Canada was the absolute cheapest in terms of the amount of points that I need to complete this booking. You can transfer your Chase points, American Express, Capital One, and Bilt points all to Air Canada, but I didn't have any Bilt points at the time and also didn't have any Capital One points that I could transfer over. So that meant I could either transfer my Chase points or American Express points over to Air Canada, but I chose Chase because they had a 20% transfer bonus at the time I was ready to make this booking. So that meant that the price that I saw on the Air Canada website, it was actually going to be reduced from that, and so that's why I went with Chase. These 80,000 Aeroplan points that I needed to complete the booking actually turned into just 66,000 Chase points after the transfer bonus, and I had 1,000 Aeroplan points already in my account. So how did I earn 66,000 Chase points in order to transfer it out to Air Canada? Well, 66,000 Chase points is actually extremely easy to get. You can earn this amount of points just by signing up for one credit card. You can sign up for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which gives you a sign-up bonus of 60,000 Chase points when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of having this card. More than likely, you will have earned at least 6,000 Chase points from spending $4,000, and then with the 60,000 point sign-up bonus, then you will now have over 66,000 points. You could also sign up for other Chase cards that will give you a big sign-up bonus, like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or some of the business cards like the Ink Unlimited, the Ink Cash, or the Ink Preferred. You can also earn points from sign-up bonuses from the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited, but those ones will earn you a smaller sign-up bonus. If you don't have enough Chase points in your account to make this transfer, you will have to put spend on your cards, but this will be a lot slower in terms of earning points than it would be to sign up for one credit card, meet the minimum spend, and then get that welcome offer. Once you've earned enough Chase points, you are going to be able to transfer them out. If you have a card that lets you transfer your Chase points, you will need to hold a card that does have an annual fee. You can either get the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or the Ink Preferred. If you don't have enough points on your Chase Sapphire Preferred or any of your other annual fee cards that you want to use for transferring out to travel partners, you can combine points from all of your other Chase cards. You can transfer all of your Freedom Flex points over to your Sapphire Preferred. And if that's not enough, you can combine your points with all of your Ultimate Rewards earning cards with that card that you want to use to transfer out to partners. So we're now on the Chase website, and you can see my 66,000 points that I have in my Sapphire Preferred. And then on step number 1 of 3 with this transfer process, you will put in your Air Canada loyalty program number. And once you have that, you can click next, and then step 2 of 3 will be telling how many points you want to transfer, and I'll say 66,000. You'll get a reminder saying how many points you have available to transfer on this card, and then you will see that points must be transferred in increments of 1,000, and transferred points will be at a 1-to-1 ratio, but there was a 20% transfer bonus, so it's actually going to turn out to be higher than 66,000. Once I submitted that transfer, it says you're all set and allow up to 7 days for your transfer to complete. But I know from this experience and other experiences I have with Chase and Air Canada, these point transfers have always been instant for me. So that means that I received an email saying your points transfer is in progress, and then less than a minute later, it says your points transfer is complete. I refreshed the Air Canada website and it calculates 80,350 points in my account, which is just over what we need to complete this booking because it's 40,000 points per person. You can see the Chase 20% transfer bonus on the Air Canada website. An extra 13,200 points were added to my account for this promotional bonus. And yes, you can also see that this was done on July 25th, 2023, so a long time ago, and I'm just getting around to posting it because I want to post more Watch Me Redeem videos so I can show you how to book flights for cheap. The taxes and fees are just $93 per person on this flight, which is way better than paying almost $900 per person for this flight. You can also see the route that I took to get all the way to my final destination of Bucharest. It's Springfield to Chicago, and then we had just a short 1-hour layover before going to Frankfurt, Germany. And yes, it does say that there's almost an 11-hour layover there, but we were able to take advantage of the Lufthansa business class lounge because we do have an American Express Platinum card, which that lounge was really cool. We definitely did not need 11 hours there. We actually booked this flight route because of how long the layover was, because we thought we would be enjoying the lounge a lot, but 11 hours was just too much for us. Either way, we saw that there were 5 seats available, so we wanted to book this before they all filled up, and it was 40,000 points and 124 Canadian dollars in taxes and fees. We could also pay more points if we wanted to have a refundable option, but we chose not to do that because we were pretty set on this route. And then on the next screen here, you can see all of the taxes and fees, the breakdown of everything. And we're okay with that, so we move on to putting in our personal information on the next screen. This process took a while, but you want to make sure that you put in all your frequent flyer numbers, and you want to make sure that you're also putting in your global entry or TSA pre-check number if you have that, so that you can actually get that put on your ticket. One thing that I didn't mention yet, but definitely should, is that we're not flying on Air Canada for any of these 3 segments. We're doing United for the first one, United for the second, and then Lufthansa for the third leg. So no Air Canada planes at all, but that is why Air Canada is such a powerful website to use your points, because you don't have to be flying Air Canada. Their website is just so solid because you can get really good point redemptions on flights within Star Alliance or any other partners that Air Canada has. Now back to the bookings. Sometimes you can select your seats when you're going through this process, or sometimes you're gonna have to wait until after you complete the booking to select your seats. But this time we got to choose now, and that was great because my wife and I wanted to sit next to each other. And yes, sadly, this is in economy. We just weren't quite ready to book our first business class trip yet, but that is coming in a future video in just a couple weeks, so make sure to be subscribed for when that video drops, because our first business class flight was a very good experience. After choosing our seats, we had to put in our payment details because unfortunately we can't get this flight 100% free, and so we just used whatever card we were working on, a sign-up bonus at the time, and the booking was confirmed. We got the good news. We did have our tickets, and we saw the updated balance of our Aeroplan points. I was down to 350 points, which is perfectly fine. You don't want to transfer over more points than what the flight is actually going to cost, because once you transfer out your Chase points to an airline or a hotel, you can't transfer them back to Chase. As always, I like to calculate my cents per point that I got for this redemption to make sure that we are getting a good value for our points. Looking at this spreadsheet, I have it all set up for 2 different purposes. One for if we didn't have a transfer bonus, and one for having this transfer bonus. So you can see here that this flight is to Romania in economy economy, that cash fare, $1,762, and then it costs 80,000 points, but you have to subtract the taxes and fees. We did have to pay $93.79 of taxes and fees per person, so that came out to $187.58. And so this is the cash minus fees price. Then you multiply that by 100 to find out how many cents that is, and you get that in this next cell here. And then you divide that by 80,000 because that's the amount of points that you paid, and that is going to come out to 1.97 cents per point, which is pretty decent. I mean, a lot of people say that if you're getting over 2 cents per point from your Chase points or your Amex points, you're doing a good job with that redemption. But we did have that 20% transfer bonus, and so if we go back to the spreadsheet, you'll find that same cash fare, but instead of 80,000 points, it'll be 66,000 points, and then the same taxes and fees, and that'll come out to a valuation of 2.39 cents per point. That was definitely a good use of Chase points there, and a great flight. If you are interested in signing up for a Chase card of your own, or any other credit card for that matter, I have a link in my description that'll take you to all of my credit card referrals, and you'll just pick the card that you want to sign up for, and then you can start earning more points. And if you are interested in watching more points redemptions videos, I'll have a playlist right here of all of my flights and hotels. I don't have a ton of videos there right now, but I'm adding to it consistently as my wife and I try to travel to as many places around the world using points and miles. And I thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.